Hi, everybody. Welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. So this just came out today. I'm recording this on Thursday night. Church news. First Presidency announces dates, sessions of October 2024 General Conference. And I always look forward to this because I'm always interested in the Saturday evening session. Because all growing up, the Saturday evening session was the priesthood session. And I assumed that it would be like that for all time, forever. But that changed with President Nelson's presidency. And so I started tracking it. I have a spreadsheet right here. Okay. So you can see starting with the October 2018 General Conference, the Saturday evening session was, instead of being the priesthood session for that conference, it was the general women's session. And there wasn't a priesthood session. When you go back in time, just paying attention to this column right here, it was always the priesthood session. And the farthest back that I can go is the April 1971 General Conference because I used the church website to get all this information. So nowadays, I'm always interested to see, what's going to happen because October 2018, it was the women's session. And then in April of 2019, it went back to the priesthood session. And then the next conference, it was the women's session. And then during that really pivotal, important, highlighted General Conference of April 2020, it was a joint session. So, and President Nelson was really pointing to that General Conference and how special it was. And there were many different things that happened that were just out of the ordinary. The new church symbol was introduced. We did a Hosanna shout and other things took place. So one of those special things is that it was a joint session. There was no women's session or priesthood session. So we're going to look and see what's going on for this upcoming conference and talk about a few more things. Before we do, here's the update on the Flood the Earth Challenge. We're at 10,075 copies of the Book of Mormon that have been shared so far. We're trying to get to 50,000. And we have 1,183 people that have participated in the challenge. We're trying to get to 5,000. So if you haven't already, please consider sharing a Book of Mormon and then just let me know in the comments or send an email to me. Make sure to include #flood and then I'll keep track of it for you over here. The individual goal is to try and get to 10. Try and at least do that. So keep up the good work, everybody. We've come a long way. Okay, so let's see what this says. The First Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has announced the upcoming 194th Semi-Annual General Conference, scheduled for Saturday and Sunday, October 5th through 6th. The letter is to, so it has the letter here from the First Presidency. The letter is to be read in an upcoming sacrament meeting in wards and branches church-wide. The full text of the First Presidency letter reads, September 5th, 2024. To general authorities, general officers, Area 70, stake, mission district, and temple presidencies, bishoprics, and branch presidencies. To be read in sacrament meeting, October 2024 General Conference. Dear brothers and sisters, we are pleased to announce the upcoming 194th Semi-Annual General Conference. The First Presidency, members of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, and other general authorities and general officers of the church will share messages of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Okay, here it is. General sessions for all individuals, families, and friends will be held Saturday morning, afternoon, and evening. Okay, so this general conference, it's going to be a general session or like a joint session. October 5th, as well as Sunday morning and afternoon, October 6th. The conference will be broadcast on the church satellite system, churchofjesuschrist.org, and other media. Decisions about gathering to watch General Conference in meeting houses will be left to the discretion of local leaders. I assume that I don't remember seeing this said before in previous letters like this. I don't know if that just means like you can decide as a local leader if it's necessary, to provide that service to members of your ward or branch. Like they can't watch it where, in their home or something like that. So come to the church building and watch it. I don't know what that means. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know in the comments below. Okay, but anyway, continuing. General Conference provides an opportunity to receive personal revelation as general church leaders give counsel and direction from the Lord. I should highlight that. From the Lord, because it seems like there's a lot of people that struggle with the idea of prophets and apostles and realizing that what they say is the words of the Lord. The prophet specifically is the mouthpiece of the Lord. Okay, we encourage all to listen, to study, ponder, and apply the counsel given. The messages will be published in the Gospel Library app on churchofjesuschrist.org and in church magazines for further viewing and study. Sincerely yours, signed, Russell M. Nelson, Dallin H. Oaks, Henry B. Eyring, the First Presidency. Okay, so let's take a look at the spreadsheet. So this is how it's gone. Starting with President Nelson's second General Conference as president of the church. So it was women's session, and then priesthood, and then back to women's, and then it was a joint session for April 2020, and then it was women's session, October 2020, and then a priesthood session, and then joint, and then women's, and then joint, and now joint. So for, what is that? That's 5 conferences in a row. The Saturday evening session is a joint session. So let's just do this little exercise. I do this sometimes with my various spreadsheets, especially ones that are like in timeline order like this. If you were to take this document, this spreadsheet, like you printed it out, you sent it back in time, and members of the church back in, let's say 1971, could see it, and they could see the future and how General Conference was going to go without any context, without telling them, oh, at this point it's going to be President Nelson, at this point, whatever. They would probably look at this and be like, okay, yeah, business as usual. And then once they got to 2018, they might be like, what's going on right now? And then especially when you get to October 2022, it's like, what? Where's the priesthood session? So like the 12-year-old me, I would have been shocked to think that there was no priesthood session. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with this. In fact, President Dallin H. Oaks spoke about this. We're going to read what he said a little later on. Before we do, I want to propose a couple ideas here. So let me read this quote from, at the time, Elder Jeffrey R. Holland of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. This was the October 2006 General Conference. The name of the talk is Prophets in the Land Again. And he says, as prophets have done in dispensations from Adam down to the present day, President Hinckley has figuratively gathered us in a kind of global equivalent of the valley of Adam-ondi-Ahman, has loved us and taught us and bestowed upon us his blessing. Now, we've noted many times on this channel, and I hope I'm not getting him in trouble, that President Holland, he's always liked to drop breadcrumbs. He's done it quite a bit, and I appreciate that, President Holland. I know we all do. And I feel like this is maybe one of those things, like a little hint that General Conference itself very well could be part of Adam-ondi-Ahman. And before you say that that's crazy, if you're new to my channel, or if you still think it's crazy after having watched what I've already said on the channel, let's just read a couple other things. So the first one, oh, by the way, this is my spreadsheet called Quotes A through Z. The link for my spreadsheets, the link that you click on, is in the description box of each video. Sometimes people ask about that. If you're watching this on a smart TV, it doesn't give you access to the description box. So you'll probably want to come to this video on like a desktop or laptop, or even your phone. Click on the description box, and that's where you'll find the link. There's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people looking at my spreadsheet as I'm making this video. Okay, this one is also on Quotes A through Z. It's currently on row 34. appearance number 1, Adam-ondi-Ahman. Okay, this is Elder Bruce R. McConkie of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, excuse me, in The Millennial Messiah, the Second Coming of the Son of Man, page 585. But Daniel has yet more to say about the great events soon to transpire at Adam-ondi-Ahman, and we need not suppose that all things shall happen in one single meeting, or at one single hour in time. It is proper to hold numerous meetings at a general conference, some for the instruction of leaders, others for edification of all the saints. In some, business is transacted, others are for worship and spiritual refreshment. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of information about the meeting at Adam-ondi-Ahman. And I think that I pretty much have it all between the different entries that I have for Adam-ondi-Ahman on this spreadsheet. I've collected every single quote and scripture that I know of. There may still be more, but this is the little bit that we have. And here's one of those things from Elder Bruce R. McConkie. Now, if we go back to my spreadsheet, you'll not that one. You'll notice that in the past, there were all sorts of different sessions of General Conference with different purposes. So just looking at the Saturday evening sessions, like we've already discussed, priesthood sessions, general women's sessions, and then before that, it was of like a different nature. You had general young women meetings and general relief society meetings, and those alternated each, general conference. And then you had special things. So again, I'm getting right here in the miscellaneous column. I'm getting this from the church website. When you go to the April 2003 General Conference on the church website, it'll list all these meetings, including this special satellite broadcast for children. In April 1999, there was a conversion and retention broadcast. Now it says February, but the church website has this part of General Conference for that year. Right here, you have Relief Society Sesquicentennial Satellite Broadcast, April 1990, Member Finances Fireside, again, part of General Conference. Priesthood Leadership Meeting, April 1986. And then starting with October 1982 and going back in time, you had these welfare sessions. Sometimes they called it the general welfare session, and sometimes just the welfare session. Again, I got all these names from the church website. And then even further back in the 70s, you had these sessions on Friday, Tuesday, then 2 Thursdays, right? Or sorry, Tuesday and then 2 Thursdays right here. So there have been all sorts of different sessions of General Conference throughout the years. Okay. So I feel like all this could be just part of Adam-ondi-Ahman. Now you might say, well, but we're going to know about it. We're going to actually be in the valley of Adam-ondi-Ahman, the entire church at the same time. Somehow that's going to work out logistically. There's going to be enough porta potties and rest areas and parking spots or whatever. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not going to claim that I know 100% how things are going to work, but I do have to take into account everything that's been said by prophets and apostles. And one of those things is this from, at the time, Elder Joseph Fielding Smith of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, when he wrote the book, The Way to Perfection, page 291. Okay, so I'll just read the whole thing. Judgment will be set, and all who have held keys will make their reports and deliver their stewardships as they shall be required. Okay? Now, some of you may make this argument. You might be like, well, everybody that has held keys, every individual person. And that I'm not so sure. It could just be like leadership. Like it could just be like 70 and above for all I know. But just wait. Okay. Adam will direct this judgment, and then he will make his report, as the one holding the keys for this earth to his superior officer, Jesus Christ. Our Lord will then assume the reins of government, direction will be given to the priesthood, and he whose right it is to rule will be installed officially by the voice of the priesthood there assembled. This grand council of priesthood will be composed not only of those who are faithful who now dwell on this earth, but also of the prophets and apostles of old who have had directing authority. Others may also be there, but if so, they will be there by appointment. For this is to be an official council called to attend to the most momentous matters concerning the destiny of this earth. Now, here's the key part right here in red, okay? Listen carefully. When this gathering is held, the world will not know of it. The members of the church at large will not know of it. So, I tend to think that all these sessions of General Conference, or maybe just a few, like the April 2020 General Conference, could actually be part of the proceedings of Adam-ondi-Ahman. A way that, in practical terms, we can have a meeting worldwide and do special things like the Hosanna shout and the new declaration that was put out and stuff like that. And you don't have this logistical issue of everybody in the church going to that small valley of Adam-ondi-Ahman. And when I say small, I mean small for all the members of the church. Okay? I don't think that that's going to happen. If it does happen like that, and that could be, it would probably have to be through supernatural means. Because again, you guys have been to events, you've been to sporting events, you've been to amusement parks, whatever, parades, that there's an issue. Like there's a lot of planning that has to go into that. You have to have enough facilities for everybody. To have the entire church there, that if it was going to be done like in a way that's other than supernatural, that would be like the event of all events that would have to be planned for. But I feel like this makes much more sense. The members of the church at large will not know of it, yet it shall be preparatory to the coming in the clouds of glory of our Savior Jesus Christ, as the prophet Joseph Smith has said. The world cannot know of it. The saints cannot know of it, except those who officially shall be called into this council. For it shall precede the coming of Jesus Christ as a thief in the night, unbeknown to all the world. So make of that what you will, and I would encourage you to either go back and watch my other videos that I've done about Adam-ondi-Ahman, or just come to my spreadsheet and read all about it right here. I have all these quotes, all these scriptures, everything. Under appearance, number 1 at Adam-ondi-Ahman. And then I also have additional information up here under Adam-ondi-Ahman. So I have a general entry for Adam-ondi-Ahman, appearances at Adam-ondi-Ahman. It's different than the other category that we're no, it's partially. Anyway, you can check that out. Adam-ondi-Ahman hints. It feels like there have been hints that it's already happening, or the key meetings have already taken place. Adam-ondi-Ahman, altars and temple block. So just check this out. Okay, so let's end this with what President Dallin H. Oaks said in the April 2022 General Conference. This is Introductory Message, and this was the women's session. Okay, so this will kind of help us understand what church leadership is thinking right now about the Saturday evening session. My dear sisters, as we begin this unique women's session of General Conference, I am pleased to deliver this introductory message from the First Presidency. Our Saturday sessions have a history of different purposes and different audiences. Well, okay, so this is April 2022. So, yeah, at that point, there had already been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, interestingly, 7 different general conferences since the changes occurred with the Saturday evening session. So yeah, there was that short period of time where there were like different purposes for that. But before that, it was always the priesthood session, except for I can't see anything beyond 1971. Maybe at some point I'll be able to do that. Okay, our Saturday sessions have a history of different purposes and different audiences. This evening, we add to that history as we embark upon a new purpose and procedure for the foreseeable future. Okay, the foreseeable future. So maybe after that point, maybe it will go back to priesthood or whatever. The gospel of Jesus Christ does not change. Gospel doctrine does not change. Our personal covenants do not change. But over the years, the meetings we hold to communicate our messages do change, and very likely will continue to change over the years. For now, this Saturday evening meeting is a session of General Conference, not a session of any organization. Like all sessions of General Conference, the planning, speakers, and music are designated by the First Presidency. And then he gives the details for that particular session. And then he says, tonight, this Saturday evening session of General Conference will concentrate on the concerns of Latter-day Saint women. This will include the doctrine of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the policies of the church that relate especially to women, and the general responsibilities and work of the organizations that include the women and girls of the church. Though this session is deliberately broadcast to a worldwide audience like all sessions of General Conference, the audience invited to be present in the conference center for this session is women and girls aged 12 and older. We have included some priesthood leaders to preside over the participating organizations. Oh, and then skipping down, we honor the daughters of God in this special session by concentrating on their concerns and those of their organizations. And did I have something else? Oh yeah, I decided to save that for future reference on my quotes A through Z spreadsheet under General Conference Saturday evening session. Okay. So that's all that I have for this one. I think this is going to be, I mean, I always do, but I think this is going to be a really good General Conference. I'm anxious to see, of course, what President Nelson is going to say. My best guess is he's probably going to just speak once. I'm excited to see what President Holland says. I assume that he's going to speak once. The whole first president, I'm excited to see. It's just every General Conference lately has just been pretty incredible. There's been some pretty incredible things going on in General Conference since President Nelson became president of the church. It's not like before. It's not. So, okay, well, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.